Okay, let's do a quick calculator in Android. So we're gonna start a new Android project. We'll call it calculator. I'm going to name it like this. Okay, so we're gonna make it for the phone. Put it here for Android 4 ice cream. The latest one right now I think is 6 or 7. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, 6 is the majority use right now. 7 is just being released, but we're gonna stick with 4 because we target more devices that way. Right now, this will work with 4 and up, so it will work on Android 6 as well. So we're gonna click on next there. We're gonna choose an empty activity. Click on next. We're gonna call it calculator, and leave everything the way it is. Click on finish. That will create our calculator project. Waiting, patiently waiting. As you can see, it takes a little while to load. Once it loads, we come to this page where it shows us the calculator Java file, and you'll see a tab called Activity Calculator. And notice it's still running. I'm just going to let that run. I'm going to switch to the Activity Calculator. As you can see, it's still building, so we're just going to wait for this to finish loading, and then we'll start. Okay, so it's finished loading. So we're going to go to Activity Calculator and just refresh it, and now it looks nice. Notice here you have this blue window here. This is the blueprint. We're just going to ignore that for now. We're just going to worry about this side here. I'm just going to concentrate on that right now. I'm going to zoom in a little so you can see. But as you can see, it looks a little bit like the Java window builder. And if you notice here, we have text view, buttons, text fields, we have layouts, and so forth. We have very similar things that we have in the Java Eclipse. Okay, if we scroll up to back up. So right now, by default, it always puts the text view. We're gonna actually remove it by clicking on it. We can either right click, press delete, or just press the delete button. Then I'm gonna scroll down and choose a layout. So I'm gonna choose a table layout. I'm simply gonna drag it. Okay, so now there's the table layout, and you can see it here in the blueprint. And then we're going to add a text view right here in the middle. Make it bold. And make it a little bit bigger. Blue. And then we're going to add 4 buttons. So that's going to be the number 7. Underneath it is the number 4. And we're going to have some over here. The plus button, and somewhere over here there's going to be a equals button. So let's go ahead and rename them. If you look over here, when you select the button on the right hand side, you can actually modify the text. As you can see, it hasn't reacted yet. It's a little bit on the slow side. We just have to wait for it, or if we click on another button, you see, it takes a while. Okay, let's go back to it. Okay, there we go. 7. This is going to be 4. This is going to be plus. And this is going to be the equal sign. Alright, so we have our layout sorted out. Obviously, you know, the kids will be free to put all of their buttons there, but they can do that on their own time. We're just going to concentrate on getting 7 and 4 and the plus and the equal sign to work, and that's it for now. Okay, so there's one more thing we have to check. Here, the text view, we're going to actually give it a specific name. So right now in the ID on the top there, we're going to give it text view label. So when I press enter, it asks me to update usages. I'm going to say yes to that because behind the scenes, if I go to text, activity calculator, table layout, table row, scroll down, we have text view, and the ID is text view, and notice here in button number 7, Android layout below ID text view label. So it's saying, okay, this button is going to be below the text view. So that's why it was asking us if we wanted to update all the references. We said yes, and we'll have changed this ID here from text view to text view label and here on after. Okay, so that's why we got that little prompt. Now that we've named that, we're done with the layout. We're going to go to calculator Java, and here we're going to add everything that we need here. So first of all, I need to add a public void. We're gonna call it button click on click function view v, open curly brace. Now notice here it's red. The reason why it's red is because it can't resolve it because it hasn't been imported here. To import it, all you have to do is press Alt and sorry, I think it's Control Enter. No, it's Alt Enter. Yes, Alt Enter. You press Alt Enter, and then you get this menu here, and you click on Import Class, and it will add this import statement here that will allow us to use the view. What is the view? The view is all of this over here. Okay, so now we're going to associate it with the buttons. So now we'll go back to the design. We click on number 7. Notice here we don't actually have a on click option because we have to show all the properties. We do that by clicking on this double arrow here. And that will take us to all the properties, and you have to scroll down until you find on click. And there it is, on click. Now if you click on this drop down, notice here is that function that we just created, button on click and calculator. The reason why it says calculator is because it's automatically casting this view into it, which contains text view and the buttons. Alright, now we're going to do the same with number 4, button 4, same with this one here, and the same with the equal sign. Boom. Okay, so we're done, absolutely done with the activity calculator XML file. So now all we need to worry about is how to handle things over here. So first, I'm going to add the label. So I'm gonna write here text view, because the label is a text view. It's called text view label. Semicolon. Now notice here text view is red again. So we press Alt Enter, and that will automatically add the text view object as an import so that we can actually use it. Okay, so now that we have the text view label, we need to find it. So we're gonna type in here text view label equals text view. Oops, text view find by view by ID r dot ID dot text view label. There we go. So what does this do? This actually finds the text view object called text view label in this view over here. It finds it and then will make this control it. So now we have assigned it, so now we can actually use it. Okay, so that's that. Now we're going to handle the button. So to handle the button, I'm gonna go, okay, button, this is a button, button, we're gonna call it button, all lowercase, equals button, oh, sorry, cast that button, yeah, V. And notice it's red, again, Alt Enter, and it will add it there. So now we're casting, whichever button is being pressed will become, will be assigned to this variable here, button. So now I can retrieve text from it. So now I'm going to add another variable called that is going to be a string, which is going to store the button text. Okay, now I'm going to say equals button dot get text, just like we did in the Eclipse. The only difference is when you get text here, let me bring it up again, dot get text. Notice on the right over here it says char sequence. Notice it doesn't say string. So we're gonna actually have to convert the character sequence to a string. Voila. We use the .toString method. Alright, so now it's a string and we put it in the button text variable. So now we know what that is picking up. So now what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and set the text view label. We're going to set it to whatever the button text is. Okay, so far so good. So we're gonna go ahead and run this. Notice here I already have a virtual device set up here. If you don't have one, it will ask you to set it up, okay, based on your project. It's very simple. Just you will get a little selection here. You can choose phone, wear, TV, tablet. We're going to choose phone in our case. So you can see you can have actually multiple emulators. You can have like one for tablet, one for phone, so you can see how it looks depending on what kind of device the user will be using. Notice you have plenty of choices here in terms of size. Okay, most people will have either Nexus 4, Nexus 5 type of device or something similar, like a Samsung Galaxy or something like that. That will be along the lines of this. So we're going to go ahead and click on next, and then it will ask us what kind of operating system. Right now I just have Marshmallow installed, so I'm just going to use that. But as you can see, you can have Lollipop or the newest one, Nougat. 8x86. You can use that too, but that is basically a different CPU that is not exactly used right now. So what we're gonna do is use the Marshmallow one. The reason why under ABI it says x86 is because it's the one for this machine, which is a Windows machine. Okay, and then you click on next, and you can give it a specific name if you want. You can make some last minute changes, and then you will click on finish. I'm going to click on cancel here, and this is what you will get here. You will get an available virtual device. Click on OK. Make sure you select it. Okay, and this will take some time to load. Oops, sorry. I got a hiccup there. As you can see, it does take a little while. Then it will start. It's like having your own phone within the computer. Okay, so it's starting slowly but surely. Come on, you can do it. Okay, so we've seen loaded the operating system. We still have to wait for the application to load. Now while we wait, as you can see, if we click there, we can see all the different applications that are loaded there already, and we can even try different things out. Notice it simulates even a half full battery. This is actually the battery of our laptop. It gave us a fake signal and everything. Still waiting. The main reason why it takes a long time for this to load is because it needs to use up a lot of CPU, memory space, as well as CPU, but it's mainly the memory. That's why it's slow. If I had a bigger memory, right now I only have 4 gigabytes of memory, and I have a 500 gigabyte SSD here on my laptop. So if I had 12 or 16 megabytes, gigabytes of RAM, yeah, this would load much faster. Okay. Okay, it's almost there. It's almost there. You can see it churning. Now once this is loaded, we're just gonna let it be, and we're gonna work on the actual programming side, and we'll just update it. That way we can try it faster. Alright. So it's pushing. There we go. It's almost there. Hey. Okay, so now if I press 7, 7 comes up, 4 comes up, plus comes up, equals comes up. Just like we did in the Eclipse. Okay, so I'm going to switch here. Notice I still have this open. I'm going to leave it open because every time I make a change, I just click on this button here, which will relaunch the application in the emulator, which will be a lot faster than shutting it down and opening it up again. Alright, so far all we've accomplished is actually to set the text of the get the text of the whatever button you pressed and display it in the text view. So I'm going to comment this out by putting 2 slashes. Notice when you put 2 slashes it becomes gray. In Eclipse it became green. Doesn't matter so long as you comment it out. Okay, so right now we have the button text and we also have the text view label object. Alright, so now what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and make the calculator work. So first I need to figure out if the number 7 on number 4 is being pressed. Okay, so I'm going to use an if statement. If button button text equals ignore case 7, or you remember those 2 straight lines means or. It's the same thing here. Button text, because this is still Java, equals ignore. Now notice we're not using the == sign, we're using this function called equals ignore case. Okay, if you use the double equal sign, it will not work. Don't remember exactly why. It was something to do with that it doesn't exactly see it as text and so forth. It's actually safer to use the equals ignore case, because then you know for sure if it is equal or not. Okay, so if the button text equals 7, or if the button text equals 4, we're gonna get the text view label set text to display the button text. Okay, well, now you ask, okay, what if the button text, the button I pressed, is the plus sign. Okay, I'm gonna handle it here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make the text view label set text to 0. Else say, okay, so if we didn't press the 7 or 4, and we didn't press the plus, we have left over with button text equals case the equal sign text view label set text will be the answer. Alright, so now if we run this, notice that's still running. The old version, it's gonna close it and then open it up again, and that will be the new version that we just made. a moment ago that we just worked on. Alright, something today. Alright, so now we're ready. So if we click 7, 7 comes up. If we click 4 comes up, plus makes it 0 equals, we'll get the answer. Okay, so far so good. So now we have to actually get this to work. Alright, so right now we're gonna need to make a couple of variables. Now we're gonna need to make the variables over here. Why we're doing it over here and not in the function itself? Because when you click the function, when you click the button, this function will be run and then it will be gone. Once it's finished running, that's it. It will forget everything. So what we need to do is put it over here so that it will remember even after the function has been run. So we're going to type in public string first number equals nothing. Public string second number equals nothing. Notice what we're doing there. We're actually initializing first, second number, and the operator that I'm going to put right now. Public string operator equals nothing. Okay. So we go down here and we go okay. So if you press 704 instead of setting the text to button text, I'm going to go ahead and go first number equals button text. Oh, I forgot to put the plus sign here. Button text plus equals button text. So what's gonna do is whatever is inside the first number, it's gonna add the button text to it. Now, one thing we need to figure out here is when are we adding to the first number, when are we adding to the second number? How do we know when the operator has been pressed? So what we do here is we have to put in an if statement here saying if operator is nothing, then go ahead and add the button text to the first number. Else, otherwise, we'll do the second number plus equals button text. Okay, so that's done. Oh, what did I do there? I'm not supposed to do equals. No. Why am I using the double equal sign here and I'm not using it here? Well, the operator is being initialized over here in the calculator Java. The button text is coming from the activity calculator where we're not sure exactly how that is coming through. So that's why we use the equals ignore case. Whereas here we can safely use the double equals because it's part of the same code. All right. So here we're done with first number, second number. We have decided what happens when we click. We're going to set the text view label to 0, but first we have to know what operator it is. So we're going to go operator equals button text. So if I click the plus sign, the operator will get the plus there. Alright, so now if button text equals ignore case, so that equals that. So now, so this is going to be the answer. So we're gonna add the first number with the second number, and it will give us a number answer. So what we need to do is create a integer called answer, which will be equal to first number plus second number. Okay. Now, why does this not work? Well, first number is a string, not a integer or number. So what we have to do is convert the first number to a string, to a integer. Now the way we do that is we're going to, let's see here, we're going to use the integer keyword here, integer parse int first number plus integer parse integer second number. So what does this do? This will convert the first number to an integer. This will convert the second number to an integer. And then I'm adding those two numbers up and will give us the answer. So now I'm just going to set the text to answer. Now you wonder, will that work? Well, no, it won't work that well. What we need to do is change the integer back to a string. How do we do that? Quite simple. Just gonna put dot to, oh sorry, no, the set text has a constructor that will actually convert the integer to a string without any problem. So I don't have to actually worry about casting it into a string. So I'm going to run it, see if it works. There we go. Come on. You can do it. Alright. So 7. Oh, what happens? Oh, I see. Yeah, we do have to do something with the integer. We have to actually change it to a string, but we can't use the dot to string because it doesn't have that as a method or an option. So what we have to do instead is what we did, similar to what we did to integer. So we're going to use the keyword string, and we're just going to use this value of answer. And what that will do is it will convert the value to an actual string. So now I'm going to click on run. Okay. The reason why it asks us to which one to run is because the application crashed. Which I'm related to run because the application crashed. Okay, in a moment it should load up. Okay, so I'm gonna click 7. 7 and 4 are not working. It's not gonna work. Oh, I see. Okay, if you notice over here, we notice here we put first number button text, second number on text, but we didn't tell it to display anything. That's why nothing is coming up. So we need to actually put text view label dot set text, and it's gonna be first number, and then same thing here, text view label dot set text second number. Okay, now this will work. Alright, we just have to wait.